Well, my name is Sara Conley, and I am actually one of the residents of the Eco House. So that was an awesome presentation. Thank you. Um, okay, let's see here. I'm a junior. I'm from Helena, Montana. Far away, I know. And there we go. And I'm also the sustainability researcher at Dining Services. And one of the things that I really feel passionate about is local foods. So I'm going to talk a little bit about how you as a college student can reconnect with your food and look into buying more local food, even on a college student's budget. Okay. Reasons. Okay, so let's see here. You eat food every day. It goes into your body, 3 meals a day generally, right? So that's like 3 reasons right there why you should care about your food. And you shouldn't waste it, right? Like I feel like if I'm buying local food, it's never going to go to waste because I am spending that money. And it is generally like between 20 and 30% more money to buy locally, but it's so much more meaning for your community. Okay, so like I live in the Eco House, so I live technically in, a housing situation where I can make my own food. But what if you live on campus, and you want to eat locally? Because that's a problem, and a lot of people want to eat locally, but they're like, I just go to DS. Well, DS does listen to your thoughts, and so you can actually email them and be like, we do want more local food. And so like that's something that you can do. Just ask your college to provide these things and they will come through. There we go. So if you live in a housing situation like I do, there's a few things that you can do. Like when you go grocery shopping, there are quite a few places in town that serve local food and sell local food at the grocery stores. Like Hornbacher's, for example, sells a lot of local flour and pasta, and these are small things that you can put on your grocery list that really don't cost that much, but make a huge impact on the community, because these local farmers depend on like selling their items, and so you're really like caring for other families too. It's really great. And once again, DS does listen to its students. We just have to speak up more. Okay, so what does local mean? What do I mean when I say like local food? Okay, there's a few different definitions by like ASHE. I'm sure you guys have heard about ASHE a little bit. It's the Higher Education for Sustainability. It's a way to track your sustainability of your college, and we are currently on it. And how they define local food is within 250 miles radius of campus. So like this is the local food that Concordia currently has right now. So like the little points. There's about like 20 different things and they have like 5 to 10 items from each farm. And these are community-based farms and it's really great. But there's like other things you can do too. So like that's what I mean when I say local. I should probably clarify. But then there's also other ones like regional within 500 miles. And then like truly local, most people only want to think of it as like 100 miles radius or as close as you can get. It really does vary, so it gets very confusing when you think about local. Okay, sustainability. What does this have to do with sustainability? What does that mean? Sustainability, I always think of it as like I'm, really caring for the future generations, not only my generation. So like I'm trying to save the earth for my future children and their children and their children. And I'm trying not to make an impact environmentally. So how does local food affect that? Well, local food it takes less CO2 to get to you. And it's like really important for the communities, as I said. Okay. So what are some other ideas? You're like, okay, so I'm a college student, I'm fairly broke. As you've seen out there in the atrium, they are selling seeds. What about growing your own farm? All of the photos that I've used in this presentation are, last summer I decided to make my own farm, like a little patch that my mom said, here you go, you can grow food there if you want. And so I did, and These are some of the vegetables that I grew. I grew squash and peppers, and it really wasn't that time consuming, and it was really cheap to buy seeds. So you don't have to do a lot to really make a big impact, and that's a lot that you can do, and it's so cool to grow your own food. Okay. Okay. Also, so how many of you dine out? I'm sure everyone goes out to restaurants. Okay, so how much do you pay for those restaurant food? I usually pay around $10, $15 for a meal. What if you use that food or that money to buy local food instead? Go to your grocery store and spend $15 that you normally would have spent at a restaurant and just buy local food. That's a lot of food. And you don't think about it like that when you're buying groceries. How many other ways are we spending so much money that we could save and then divert that to local food? It's really not that expensive. You can make it doable. Okay, so I challenge you guys to do a 20% local. Next time you go to the grocery store, try buying at least 20% local food. It's not that hard. It's maybe one local item. Okay, so you want to make pancakes, buy local flour. Not that difficult. Also, does anybody know what this vegetable is? It kind of looks funny. I'm not the best gardener. It's a pepper. You already knew that. Okay. And then this is a squash. It's very pretty. Okay. Okay, so buy one local item. That's what I challenge you all to do. Next time you go to a grocery store, just buy one thing. That's all you need. Okay, well, that's the end of my presentation. So anybody have any questions? You know, that's a question I ask myself a lot too, because I see some of my roommates' meals and some of my meals, and I come from a family where I learned to cook. And it's very different, some people don't have that opportunity. So I don't know, I could teach you to cook if you want. But, Pinterest has lots of recipes. Just follow the recipes. It's not that difficult to cook, and usually you can make it taste good if you, taste along the way, and then it'll usually turn out well. But I have no idea how many people know how to cook, because you come out of dorms, and they don't really teach you how to cook in dorms. They just feed you, so yeah. But I just try to cook. I'm sure you all have it in you. Anybody else? Yeah.
Can you say something about seasonal eating?
Seasonally eating, yes. Oh, I forgot that. That's an important question, thank you. So a lot of things that are local are only available seasonally. If you go back to my Bix map, you guys remember it. But the local food that Concordia buys is mostly available August through September. That's not, it's sometime when we're here, but it's usually not a lot of Concordia students are here during that time. But it does make a huge impact, though, because, dining services does have a lot of food. So a lot of the local food isn't, seasonal. It's very seasonal. So it's difficult to be okay, what can I buy year round? What can I buy right now that's local? I can buy flour. I can buy flaxseed, I can buy eggs sometimes, but you can't buy fresh vegetables. But then it's so important when those seasons come around to buy those locally.